What's going on, guys? Today we're going to talk about the skill of the rower. So kind of one of those things where, like, if you learn to squat, you're going to get coached up how to squat. You're going to learn the proper way to do it. Things like rowing and running, people kind of just, they hop on the machine or they just go for a run without respecting the skill of the movement. So what we're going to do today is I'm actually going to defer to Coach Burl to show us the three of the bigger things that people kind of mess up on that helps that sacrifices form when you're doing them wrong. It's kind of a way to help clean up your rowing form a little bit. So I'm gonna get strapped in and then hand it over.
So real quick, I'm just gonna touch on the basic movement of rowing. There's three parts to it. It's legs, it's back, and it's arm. And you go in that order, and then you reverse that order on the recovery, which is a slide out. So I have Justin go ahead and grab. So he's sitting at the catch right now. I'm gonna go ahead and have him just take a regular stroke. Just go ahead and take a stroke. So legs, back, arms, back, legs. So that's what a stroke should look like. What we see in rowing, what we should see is an 11-to-1 layback. So at the catch where he is now, you should be at about 1 o'clock. And then at the finish, he should be at about 11 o'clock. So 1, 11, 1, 11. There's no further back, there's no further forward. What we see a lot is a further back. So go ahead, like this, which then causes people to pull the handle up to their neck. That is not what we want to see. Sorry. Got a little cord. So basically, the 11 o'clock is going to help you, go ahead back to the finish, pull right into your sternum. So it's right into that chest bone. Girls, right underneath the boobs, just right into that chest bone. And that's about 11 o'clock. We don't want you fully back and chopping your head off.
So I see that too, actually, real quick, if I can interject. Like people they're leaning back a little bit here, and then just automatically they're pulling up here, even if they're not leaning back, like way back. So the keeping it straight is it's a big one, and this rower actually has tape, and so my goal is to keep it in between the tape. So just dovetailing off exactly what she was saying is keep this nice and straight. So I don't want to lean back, but I also don't want to just pull up high anyways.
So like he was saying, this chain needs to be in a straight line the entire time. So if I were to put my hand here and he was to take a stroke, he's not moving my hand. It's just going right along, right between those two pieces of tape. So find a spot in that general area when you're rowing and keep your hands nice and steady. So what's happening with that is people automatically, when people find out I row, it's, oh my God, your back and your arms must be jacked. Rowing doesn't come from your arms and your back. It comes from these guys right here. Your initial power is all in your legs, so you shouldn't be trying to gain speed and distance with your arms. It's all in your legs. Which then brings me to the next part, is knee humping. So that goes straight into keeping the chain level. So what happens when people row is they pull in and they automatically move their. It's hard if you know how to do it. It's hard to do. So what happens is people move their knees before their arms. So what he's doing is very, very wrong.
And so you can actually even see the chain too. Like as I start coming in, if I break my knees, I have to now come up and over. And now where's that chain come? It comes up above that tape, right? So if I'm bending the knees, now the chain is like all over the place, up and down, instead of arms first, and now it's just going straight again.
So when you do that, upon the recovery, going back up the slide, your arms are super fast away. Enough to keep the chain in control, but basically you're pulling into that layback, and your arms are the first thing to go super quick. It's not your knees, it's your arms, and then back, and then legs. So like I said before, the initial stroke is legs, back, arms. You are now reversing that on the recovery. It's arms, back, legs. Just like that.
That's actually a pretty good segue into our third one for tempo, right?
Yes. So everyone seems to think that the faster you row, the farther you're gonna go. So like I said, rowing is all in your legs. Everyone knows that tempo and everything, it's all in your legs. The power comes from your legs. I don't really know how else to describe that. So what's gonna happen is your initial drive is coming off your heels driving into the ground. So you actually want to keep your heels as close to the foot stretcher as possible. You don't really want them up because you're gonna drive your heels as hard as you can into that foot stretcher to get max power on this. I can easily pull a 145 split going 18 strokes per minute, which a lot of people seem to think you have to pull a 25, 30, 35, etc. to get that split. You don't. As long as you're driving through your heels as hard as you can into your thighs, you're gonna get that same exact power and not kill yourself. So when we're having you guys doing 100-meter pieces, don't think about going as fast as you can. Think about driving into your legs as hard as you can, and the harder your stroke is, the more those meters are going to go down, and the faster they're going to go down.
I was gonna say the other thing too is people have a tendency to to rush. Is this the slide?
The slide, yeah.
The slide. So like I want to explode back hard, and then I'm like hands come back quick. But I can take my time coming in. Drive back. That's a 131 pace with a 25 stroke rate.
So that's a solid sprint right there. So you're thinking about rowing in an actual boat. If you were to sit in an actual crew boat, a crew shell, and you rush your slide, if you watch the coxswains, the people who are sitting in the front or the back yelling at people, their whole body's going like this, which is then throwing the rhythm of the boat off, which then throws the whole set of the boat off. So you don't feel it on the earth, but those boats are not stable. And that's what causes just all this rock. You don't actually want to rock the boat in a crew boat. You want it to be as steady as possible and as light and airy and just barely moving, just gliding through the water. So that slow up the slide is what's going to cause it. That's why you want to do that. And then again, it goes back into, if we're having you guys do 100, 500 meter sprints, the faster you go on this, first of all, if you have a partner who's resting, there goes their rest. And then, or not necessarily resting, but if you guys are going by pulls versus, by pulls, the faster you pull, the less rest your partner's going to get. But if you're going by pulls and you're trying to break down to 2,000 meter piece, the slower your strokes are, the more you're going to get that 2,000 meters down, but the longer rest you're going to give your partner, which they'll be very thankful for.
Yeah, so the way I like to think about it is hard back, nice and easy forward. This is my recovery right here. It's drive back, slow.
You'll also thank yourself for this, because it gives you time to get that deep breath in and then pull as hard as you can. So if you want to go ahead and show rushing the slide, we'll see a lot.
Also my form, when I'm going that quick, kind of just goes downhill. Like my arms are moving all over the place. Everything was kind of just messy. So at a lower stroke rate, that kind of like high 20s, depending on the distance obviously, but like high 20s, 30 tops, it's cleaner. I'm just kind of clean things up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah, so those 3 things to think about the next time you come into a good old village.
Yep, so just kind of recapping, it's legs, back, arms, pulling to the sternum, not chopping your head off, breaking at the arms first, so not knee humping, not coming up and over, and then that drive back, nice slow recovery forward.
Actually, I was gonna go into what's gonna help you get that into your chest better. Don't grip it, and don't grip it here. I row with 2 fingers. And that's gonna make you focus on the fact that your arms have nothing to do with your stroke and it's all your legs. I actually tend to pull in with my fingers because you want to relax grip. And that's gonna help you think about pulling into your chest.
So test them out next time you guys are on the rower. Thank you, Coach Burrell.
You're welcome.
Catch you guys later.